Hello there and welcome to the channel, and today I've got some exciting news on an Orbea launch, the Orbea Rallon RS. So Orbea have announced the launch of the Ralon RS, a bike that makes a bold new direction for the industry, built on the Orbea's RS ride synergy. Now basically, if you've watched any of my Denner videos, you'll know that RS ride synergy features a lot in the Denner bikes, and it is just, they've worked with Shimano on that, and to get the motor tuned up using the RS synergy feel what Orbea like to use, and now they've took it and worked with TQ for a similar project on this. So yeah, the Ralon RS enhances the rider's experience using innovation to remove compromises on the trail. A supple helping hand improves climbing flow, while downhill performance is planted, precise and predictable. With next generation suspension control, advanced smart features, the Ralon RS represents a significant shift in what riders can expect from their trail bikes in the future. The Ralon RS is not the result of trends or a market pressure. It comes from Orbea's cooperative structure, where ownership is shared by the riders, designers and the engineers who create and enjoy the bikes. This model allows the company more freedom to explore long-term ideas, take measured risk and involve partners or true collaborators throughout the development. The Ralon RS was built to ask questions, both boundaries, and explore a different path forward for the mountain bike users. The insight gained from the project are expected to influence Orbea's future high-performance platforms and may offer the industry an alternative way of thinking about innovation and riders' experience. Now, like I said, I am super excited to look at this bike and hopefully ride it in the future. Put a like on a comment in if you do want to see the bike on the channel, because if I get enough likes and comments, Orbea may lend me one for me to review in the future. So yeah, I'm super excited to go through this bike and tell you everything about it, which I'm going to go through now and show you it as well. So yeah, let's get through it and see what this bike offers. So first of all, the heart of the bike, the seamless integration, a system that works for one. So with the Ralon RS, Orbea have created a single system connecting the remote motor, shifting and dropper post suspension to a central battery. So sharing the power simplifies the charging and reduces clutter. Having all sorts of different batteries and all that, you've just got one main battery which powers the lot. The system enables all of the components to share information. That a totally new concept which creates new possibilities. Introduced in the Rise earlier this year, the RS HMI human machine interface controller expands its capabilities significantly with the Ralon RS. Riders can manage motor modes, suspension profiles and small dropper functions without removing their hands from the handlebars. So Orbea earlier in the year, in their Rise, had the RS HMI human machine interface. The controller expands its capabilities significantly in the Ralon RS. Riders can manage motor modes, suspension profiles and smart dropper functions without removing their hands from the handlebars. Advances like this are rare because they cannot be achieved by one brand working alone. To make it possible, Orbea have invited TQ and Fox to join their journey. So both brands immediately recognised the potential to push their own technologies further and agreed to open development, something unique in the industry. So Orbea avoids exaggerated claims around their smart technology, but in this case the system introduces a meaningful step forward for the mountain bike performance. Their technology links the Fox e-Neo valve shock, Orbea's MC10 RS dropper and the TQ motor, allowing each component to respond based on shared information. This enables several new capabilities. So let's have a look at the capabilities. So 1, suspension informed by the motor data. The shock receives inputs such as cadence, ride power, motor power and bike speed from the TQ motor. Orbea custom algorithms use the data to deliver more predictable and responsive suspension behaviour. So that sounds super exciting when you're on a ride and you want everything to work is 1. Suspension informed by the dropper position. The MC10 RS dropper communicates its exact position multiple times per second through an electronic time of flight sensor. This is an industry first. When the dropper is lowered, the shock stays fully open to optimize the downhill performance. And then even more here, number 3, the motor behaviour adapted to terrain and ride position. The TQ motor recognises when the bike is pointed downhill when the dropper is lowered and adjusts its assistance to avoid unwanted inputs in technical terrain. So that's absolutely fantastic, because not worse when you just you press the dropper by accident or whatever when you're on them terrains and it pops up and it gets in your way. This smart technology looks like it avoids that, and it works with the bike to know when you're going downhill or if you're going uphill. So all these capabilities I've just gone through are only possible because all them components are working together as one. So that was all the smart features using that fantastic little new controller on the handlebars, which controls everything, and yeah, it does look absolute super fantastic. So 2, we're going to go into helping hand assistance, moving, climbing, compromising. So let's have a look what Orbea is saying about the bike on this. So many long travel bikes claim to balance climbing and descending, but often deliver a level of motor support that removes the satisfaction of the climb. Orbea have approached this differently. The objective was to improve the pedalling feel on climbs by reducing the usual compromise that comes from the extra weight of the long travel chassis and the rolling resistance of an aggressive tyre. Orbea worked closely with the TQ to adapt their lightest and quietest motor for long travel use. So I've been going on about TQ motors for well over 12 months now, and I have said for a long time now that TQ motors will eventually take over, I think, just because they do not look like an e-bike. They're so small and compact. They're not super powerful like the Bosch ones yet and all that, but I think that's going to come in the future. The batteries are really small and the motors are really small, and when you look at the bike, you can see it here, it just doesn't look like an e-bike, and yeah, I honestly think it's the future, the way motors and batteries are going. But let's have a look what Orbea say here. So Orbea worked closely with TQ to adapt their lightest and quietest motor for long travel trail use. The Priority RS tune provides responsive and near silent assistance that never exceeds the rider's own input. This creates a smooth and natural climbing feel that preserves the sense of effort reward that comes with riding a mechanical bike. As such, Orbea does not describe the Ralon RS as an e-bike, but as a trail bike that represents the next step into mountain bike development. So like I said earlier, they're probably not classing this as an e-bike because it doesn't look like an e-bike, and it's just helping you along the way, but it's not affecting your ride or taking over your ride. You're still putting that effort in, and it's not going to give you more effort than what actually you're putting in. So you still get that nice smooth feel of a ride you're on. So basically, the compact TQ HPR 40 motor delivers up to 200 watts of power and peak assistance of 40 newton meters of torque. So as you can see, because it's such a lightweight, it's not offering you that great power of the Bosch motors, but because it's a lighter bike, I think this bike's around about 18 kg, but hopefully I can go into that in a bit later on. But the bike's around that, so it's a super light bike, everything's carbon, and yeah, and the way the ride is, I don't think you need that crazy power. So the 290 watt hour battery offers between 1,200 and 1,800 meters of climbing range, depending on the rider weight and assistance level. So like I always say on e-bikes, there's no point in me saying that you're going to get 18,000 feet of climbing or 18,000 meters of climbing when you're 25 stone, because it's not going to happen. Same as if you're 11 stone, you might even get more than that. So it's obviously, and then if you've got it in the super full juice mode, boost mode and turbo mode, you're not going to get that much. You've got to balance it out, and whatever the rider's putting in, it's going to give you, so it could last longer than that or shorter than that. But they're saying that for an average sort of ride, an average rider, you should get between 1,200 and 1,800 meters. So if you want additional capacity, there's obviously the 160 watt hour range extender, which increases the total range by 55% for the full day outing. So 3, downhill performance, redefining confidence on the trails. So the Ralon RS was built on a solid foundation for descending performance. Obea's Downhill World Cup developed Ralon with the motor and battery positioned low and centrally. The Ralon RS remains exceptionally composed in rough terrain. The Ralon RS pushes the limits of Obea's carbon engineering. Every element from the tooling to the purpose-built layup is designed for precision. Sorry, I can't say that word, but you know what I mean. The latest carbon layup is Obea's most advanced to date. It requires more manufacturing time but reduces overlaps and waste, placing the material only where it's needed to achieve optimal stiffness and strength. The Ralon RS geometry has been refined through years of downhill testing, but offers adjustability so the riders can tune it to their needs. Dedicated linkage allows a choice of full 29-inch or mullet without affecting the geometry. The flip chip adjustment lower the bottom bracket by 8mm and the slackness the head angle by 0.5. The headset adjustment permits head angle adjustment by plus or minus 0.75 degrees. As always with Orbea mountain bikes, the Ralon RS is designed around Obea's steep and deep, meaning that all frame sizes allow full insertion of the 210mm dropper post, increasing to 240mm on the size L and XL. So the Ralon RS comes in 2 models, the RS Team and the RS Limited Ltd. And yeah, I'm just obviously showing them over here. They do look absolute super fantastic, super looking bike. Yes, that was just a bit of information on the new Orbea Rallon RS, and yeah, I'm super excited about this bike. And yeah, drop in the comments a like, and say if you want me to ride this and review it, because if I get enough comments and likes, you never know, Orbea might lend me one for a few weeks to do a review on. So yeah, super excited. I have got a bike coming soon off Orbea, a Orca road bike, so that'll be coming up soon on the channel to review. But if you want to see this, put the likes and put the comments in, and I'll try and get one here to show you. So yeah, thanks for watching, hope this has helped, and I'll see you on the next one.